have actually the special opportunity to witness two acclaimed leaders discuss all things tourism and hospitality. We have Mr. Sandiaga Uno, Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Republic of Indonesia. Mr. Uno was one of Indonesia's most prominent young entrepreneurs and active in the Indonesian business communities. He is also the co-founder of Saratoga Investama Sedaya, the first and the biggest publicly listed active investment company in Indonesia. In conversation with Mr. Uno, we have Mr. Pandu Sjahrir, investor co-CEO, Indies Capital, founding partner, AC Ventures. Mr. Sjahrir is a seasoned investor in Southeast Asia. He is focused on Indonesia's energy transition and the digitalization of its economy at large. Please join me in welcoming these gentlemen.
Morning, everybody. I'm going to have to interview Pandu now, or
I interview you, Minister. So we have about 30 minutes left.
All right.
I'll ask all the questions. Just kidding. I'll ask 3 to 4 questions, and then maybe I'll ask from the audience 3 to 4 questions, and then we'll do quick polling back, 4-question polling.
Okay,
Will that work?
that worked perfectly. But before we start, Pandu, as customary in the hospitality industry here, we start with a Pandu.
Very good one.
This time it's adapted to a hospitality setting using English. And please respond by saying handsome,
Hands up.
the equivalent of chakra. We eat a pancake with a sundae
Hands up.
as a breakfast in the morning.
Hands up.
I was honored to be with Pandu here today,
Hands up.
and to be with you, that is truly amazing.
Yeah. Pandu has become a culture that we're promoting
It
now.
is intangible cultural heritage of Indonesia that was acknowledged by UNESCO since 2020. So if you don't use it, you will lose it. So that's why we at the ministry continue to use it for the next generations. We will use the intangible cultural heritage of Pandu as part of the icebreaker.
So, just as a little background, this is probably the largest hotel conference here in Asia Pacific, and always in Bali, right? It's important. And most of the key stakeholders are here, whether they are developers, investors, management, and those interested in investing in the hospitality industry. So during our last several years, first of all, thank you. You've brought, I think, the tourism industry to the next level with your level of engagement. And there is so much interest now in hospitality over your view. So maybe 2 things, what are the key 1 or 2 learnings the last years you have been ministers here? And what is the opportunity for the next government?
The lesson learned? Maybe I should listen more to my wife. Number 1 lesson, she always say, it's always quality before quantity. And she kept reminding, although on a different subject, but you didn't get the joke, it's fine. But it's the quality of engagement, not the quantity. And this is what tourism has become now. That we're moving from numbers to experience. We're actually transforming the industry from just 11.7 million tourists last year to target of 14.3. Oh my, we're getting so much less tourists than our competitors, our neighboring countries. But rather, it's individual experience and memorable moments that they collect when they visit. And this is going to be the key on a personalized, localized, customized, and smaller in size numbers. Now, you see Bali, this year, and actually last year, we are already ahead of the pre-pandemic numbers. But what significantly changed with Bali tourism is that people are spending more days here, and they're spending more dollars to the local economy. So it's again showing the quality features of the post-pandemic tourism. Secondly, I believe again and again there is what we refer to in the ministry as unstoppable global trend. And the unstoppable global trend is sustainability. You can no longer have tourism without talking about sustainability. So those are two big lesson learned that I believe we are able to get from the last 3 years. And I think I'm very fortunate that we have stakeholders. We're very resilient. Post-pandemic, the recovery is helped by good collaborations. We have 𝐅𝐢𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐢𝐝 from the industry leading the sector, and we are always on a very close relationship. We call it in the speed dial number. People in the audience who are younger than 35 would not know what speed dial means. But in the old days, we have a feature in our phone called speed dial. It's no longer relevant now anyway. And we have great investors who continue to believe in the sectors like Pandu. Also, we have people who day in and day out put so much effort into making tourism a much better sectors. Thank you for all stakeholders. In the ministry, we can't thank you enough because without you guys, we won't be able to be here at the stage creating 25 million good quality jobs, better jobs for Indonesians, and elevating Indonesia to the top rank of world tourism. And the last time we have been able to get from World Economic Forum is we're now ranked number 22 in the world, ahead of Belgium, ahead of Turkey, and ahead of New Zealand. This is unthinkable during the pandemic, but thank you, and please give a big hand to everybody.
So, for yourself, in terms of your hope for the next government, like it or not, government plays a significant role in Indonesia. And I think even the next decade, we are still dependent on foreign direct investment. So, in terms of increasing the competitiveness, what messages or hope that you will say, hey, this is the greatest opportunity in the next 5 years for this new government? I would like to see, especially in percent.
The new government is actually was elected Bapak Prabowo and Mas Gibran on the theme of continuity. So people across the country believe that the last 10 years of Jokowi should continue in key sectors, in particular in the economy, and tourism being quite a large source of employment, as well as transformations vehicle to reach the golden period of Indonesia should continue the last, I would say, 10 years. There are 3 ministers in the last 10 years. There's Pak Arief Yahya, and before that there's Pak Sabta here, and Pak Wisnu Tama. And I took over in 2020. I think most of the policies have continued, and we need to be data-driven. We need to be evidence-based. The next government, I think, should focus on making sure that every dollar invested in the sectors will yield good quality returns for investors. Because people invest here, including you and me, because we come from the same sort of like background. At the end of the day, we look at our bottom line, our IRR. So government should ensure that regulations is conducive to the investments community in particular. As we see time and time again, every dollar invested in the sector creates 6 times more jobs to Indonesians. So that's why I would say the certainty of policies, and we have the new tourism law is now being initiated by the parliament. You guys should help Adi-Adi, Pak Budi here, and Pak Eddie to give us inputs. Is this the right law that you want? Because this is the initiatives from Parliament. I am the recipient of this draft bills. Would this be enough, or this would be a waste of time? Would this infringe with your ability to invest and the attractiveness of Indonesia? Or would you rather wait and see? So this is not the right time for wait and see, because we need more investors, and the current dollars that we manage within the country is not enough. We truly need foreign direct investments. And platforms such as what Pandu is creating is unfortunately not too many people who want to invest in the tourism sector. So much of this is probably one of the few sectors that we see more domestic investments than foreign direct investments. So conference like this is really crucial, and we're doing roadshows with 𝐊𝐞𝐲 𝐓𝐚𝐤𝐿. I've been on an investors roundtable in Mumbai, in Sydney, our key markets in China, to make sure that we're registering our eagerness to invite investment into Indonesia.
So we're halfway into this talk, and I'm going to address some of the questions that all of you are asking. I'll choose it, not all, okay? But maybe this one is good, especially given that we are in Bali. Are there any short or long-term plans to improve various aspects of Bali tourism? And I think one that was addressed is the current traffic issue, which I think is significant. There's other issues with respect to Bali, but if you have one or two things with respect to Bali, that you think needs to be addressed, and what are the key policies for it?
I think the traffic is, when you take the numbers, because we're working on this on a big data basis, would be one of the top 5 of things that we need to fix. And I was with Pak Bupati last night and a few of the industry leaders. We are basically embarking on this, they call it tol laut, which is the point-to-point connections through the sea with a fast boat, connecting Jimbaran to Seminyak, to Legian, Seminyak, 𝐷𝐸𝐴, and Canggu, with the pier that would be constructed alongside the improvement of the beachfront that the government is doing together, the central government and the local government. That would be, I think, in the intermediate terms. The long-term plan is the MRT, linking the airports to Kuta first stop for the parking lots, and then on to Seminyak, 𝐷𝐸𝐴, and Canggu. continuing later to Sanur and Ubud. That's going to be the MRT. This is a $20 billion project. I think it's going to take longer term. But the shorter term that we are already developing is the package that we are making it available with the concept of Bali, that we are redirecting and redistributing tourism load, not just to southern part of Bali, but to west part of Bali, north part of Bali, and eastern part of Bali. This is actually already starting to yield some positive results, and hopefully traffic will be more bearable in the years to come.
This is so good because talking about Bali, also talking about connectivity. I know this has been a big, at least domestically, been an issue about cost of flights, domestic flight costs. This is actually you can touch too, because I think for some of you may not know, the issue of plane supply has also been a significant issue. There's a race in the world of being able to get planes. Right? Now, but specific to Indonesia, what is it in terms of prices that has been a significant issue? Is there a way to address it structurally outside of just having government intervention?
I sympathize with the airlines industry because I used to invest in an airlines industry as well. Not too successfully. Some of you may know I made the biggest boo-boo on investments in the airlines industry, and that's true what Sir Branson said, that if you want to be a millionaire, it's easy. Just become billionaire and invest in airlines. Then you become billionaire. But after the tough times of COVID, the last 18 months have been really, really good for the industry in Indonesia. They have good load factor, they have high ticket prices, and I think this is allowing them to recoup some of the tough times, the losses that they endure. But this has to stop because it's no longer acceptable. Or people flying from Jakarta to Medan, that they had to face higher ticket prices, and they opted to transit in Kuala Lumpur or in Singapore because it is much cheaper when they have to go outside the country and then back to our country for a cheaper ticket prices. Same flights to Manado. People would go through Singapore to go to Manado. So the government has created a task force. It is now already led by the two coordinating ministers, your uncle and Pak Erlangga, with the target given by the president that by October this ticket price have to go down to approximately 10%, and with the hope within 6 months time we could use the interventions to make sure the ticket price would come to at least down to about, from this peak level to a normalized level of about 40% from the current prices.
You also, while you're here, I'm going to lobby. One of the things I know from our friends is actually not being able to get planes. Because today, if you look at Airbus, Boeing, the backlog is significant. You just simply look at old airlines, not even new airlines. So maybe it's good for the government to go to Airbus or Boeing to say, hey, please prioritize us, because the amount of supply, especially in our national carrier, is very low. Hence the price. So, well, I'm here, I can lobby a bit.
Or simply for the airlines who have been able to get supply of new aircraft to joint venture with the carriers here and make it in a temporary measures that we sort of like waive our some of the tough regulations in terms of restricting them to fly point to point to Indonesian destinations. I have already pushed some of those ideas. Some of my ideas in the cabinet meeting is more out of the box. So let's see whether we're able to get some tractions with
I
this
think that's
initiative.
a great idea.
Agak flat ya.
Because really, I would say all
Jadi
government
bang,
airlines
di
have significant advantages in terms of planes. So if you're open
Empat
to
kan?
connectivity for the foreign to do
Aman.
JV here, it's a fantastic idea. I'll come up with 2 more questions
Gini
from the
berdua.
audience, and after that, we'll do a polling, Pak, if you don't mind. Okay. But in terms of
Oh, William Saputra is here. He's the dad of his son of a billionaire. Hi, Virgo. How are you? This is the dad of Super Cool Ben. You know him, right?
oh, really? He's the dad of Super Cool Ben?
Yeah, Super Cool Ben is AKA Bobby Saputra.
I kan?
You should follow his
Hah?
content. But the
Present.
North Bali Airport, well, under
Oh,
the
STD
current
depan.
government, is basically a no-go. But we have
Oh,
the
bu-
president, so he will determine whether it's a go or go. I think if it's
Ya, biasa.
in
Karena bias
western part of
LED.
Bali, it's already served by Banyuwangi. But if it's in the northeast, and to be linked by toll road, this is up for the new government to decide.
So one question I have, Pak, not in this list. What's your view, Pak, of this new direction of doing the golden visa that's just been recently pushed? How do you see that progressing vis-a-vis other competitors that are out there in ASEAN and even Indonesia? Why do you see it so attractive here?
To be honest, we're a bit late. We pushed this together with Luhut 2 years ago, just off from the pandemic. I said we need to come out with a big bang. Because during the COVID, a lot of people have come to me, wants to stay longer here in Indonesia. Be it for digital nomad to silver, we call it silver economies. People who are like me, more than 55 years or older. They have about $1 trillion of wealth under their purse, and they would like to stay longer here. They want to work from here, they want to have investments here. So we started discussing about it, and only 2 years later that we launched it. My view is that it's still very attractive, and we're pricing it higher than what our competitor, the neighboring country, is pricing it. But last night I got feedback from some of the industry leaders that it's too little at 350,000. It's too low of a threshold. People will flock in. What they don't know that this is actually by invitations. You could actually register, and the government will vet through the documents, and they would determine whether this applications would yield to a good impact, positive impact to our global economy. So not just any Tom, Dick, and Harry with 350,000 will automatically get a golden visa. There's also a process that we have gone through. But our target, and this is what the neighboring countries is also getting from their early pitch, is about 3,000 to 5,000. I think it will be nearing to about 5,000 golden visa recipients, and I think that's more on the conservative side, but it will have a positive boost to not just Bali, but to the rest of Indonesia's economy.
It's very good, Pak, because it's a war on talent out there.
Indeed.
And I think a lot of people now are just being offered golden visa to be able to relocate some of the business. Pak, let's talk about you for a second.
Yes?
So what are you doing after October, Pak?
I think I'll take a much needed break. I need to take care of my vocal cord. I've been talking too much. I'm losing my voice. I went to the doctor and said that you need to change professions. Your vocal cord is strained. It needs therapy, or you could go to an operations, which I said, what's the risk of the operations? The doctor said, well, it's a good thing. It will be a minor operations. A very unlikely situations, you may lose your force for about 2 years. So it doesn't go with my current profession, so I may apply for a job from you or Paeri. I know a little thing or two about tourism, and I think I will contribute to the sectors in the long term. I really love the sectors, and I think you guys have been great partners for the government, and I'm very optimistic. But currently, I think some much needed break, maybe skiing in December, something that I would look, and probably I've been everywhere in Indonesia, so but there's spots that I've missed, so making sure that I come to the spots that I missed in order to thank the people that have been helping us through the pandemic and onto the recovery.
Thank you, Pak. Looking forward to maybe going back to professional investing. Yeah,
Maybe that's what I'm good at.
but you're good at this too. Don't worry about that.
No, I'm
It seems
not.
the voice.
I'm not a good politician. I think my experience, 8 years in politics, have brought me to, come to think of it, from the last elections. I've partnered with the candidate number 1. I was the running mate of candidate number 2, and all of a sudden I'm thrust into campaigning for candidate number 3. So I'm probably a very small minority of politicians are crazy enough to travel to 3 camps, but I've enjoyed my ride, and I hope Pak Prabowo, who I worked for about 10 years for his campaign, and finally he got the mandate, would be able to accelerate development of our economy.
So we have 3 questions, I think, on the slide. Just quickly, let's do this because we still have 1 minute left. Do you agree that the Indonesian government has successfully promoted foreign investment in the tourism sector? It's quite a bit, Pak.
50% agree. Yes.
If you put agree, it strongly agrees. Pak Prabowo's vote, 58%. Next one. Let's go. How important do you think sustainability initiatives in tourism are for Indonesia's future? So, in fact, majority, if you put very important, it's actually it's a home run.
71%.
Plus 17%, so it's very high. Next question. Which Indonesian festival would you like to experience the most? I think this is a good feedback. Java Jazz. That's kind of where everybody wants to go.
Is Gary here?
Next one, last one. Which international music artist would you like to watch in Indonesia 2025? So that's kind of the 2 Taylor Swift and the Weeknd. But that's the next government's problem.
Yes. Well, I delivered though. You guys have to really congratulate yourself. The president gave a challenge. I went to the industry, and Bruno Mars have decided not 1 concert here, not 2, but 3 days of concert in Indonesia. Without government support. Unlike our neighbor, government would chip in. This is just basically private led. You guys led this, government facilitated.
So, Pak, from all of us, and all of us who are Indonesian, thank you, Pak, for the last years of your service and bringing the industry now to new height. Thank you, Pak Sandi.
And in the basically to follow the footsteps of Pak Jokowi, from the bottom of our heart, on behalf of the ministry, we would like to not also thank but also memohon maaf if there's any shortcomings from our government in the last years that we've been able to deliver. I know there are a lot to fix, but thank you, and please accept our apologies. Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause for this. Thank you.